Welcome to Potter Familias, coming to you from Fairhope, Alabama.
I'm Todd Sylvester.
I'm Stephen Sylvester.
Father and son. Both fathers.
Two dads. Two dads, not gay.
I guess you do have to be specific about that.
We do. We talked about this. You can't say two dads and then not clarify.
I'm old.
You said it. You were like, yeah, two dads. That'll be the tagline. And I was like, no, it won't.
Oh,
Yeah.
Glory. What are you in the middle of reading right now?
Well, I actually just got a book from a friend of mine named Tyler called Lock-In. And he sent it to me as a birthday gift, which was cool. But he read it and he was like, ooh, this is really particular to what's happening in the world right now. It's about a worldwide pandemic that causes people to be locked into their bodies.
It's fiction?
It's fiction. Totally.
Not lock-in like a youth group lock-in.
No. Different type of lock-in where they're fully aware, still fully conscious.
As soon as you say lock-in, it doesn't matter. I'm thinking battle ball.
They are, and then the whole world adjusts to having these millions of people who now are alive and functional and conscious, but they can't use their bodies at all.
Wait, so they're like, it's not like a coma. They're paralyzed?
Yeah, paralyzed, completely, physically paralyzed.
Who's taking care of them?
Well, their families normally, but then they invent these robots that they can use to walk around with, and their consciousness is just connected to the robot.
That's pretty freaky.
It is. I'm really interested in it. What are you reading these days?
I just finished Alienated America by Tim Carney.
Did you like it?
It was awesome, but it's a long read.
Okay.
It's a long read.
I might need to borrow that one from you.
It is fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah. Very much enjoyed that.
So we've got a main thing for today.
Check it out.
It's the main thing. Yeah.
What's the topic for today?
Well, I had this idea for talking about the differences in popular music 30 years ago versus today. Is it better or worse, and why?
You didn't have this idea 30 years ago, though.
I wasn't alive 30 years ago.
Exactly.
What? Okay. Oh, well, sorry. I guess we can't do this one,
Because I didn't do it by experience.
Oh, man. If only I had thought of not being alive 30 years ago. We could have avoided this. So I do listen to music that was popular 30 years ago. And so I want to hear your opinion first. And I'm going to give you two separate examples of a modern pop musician and then one from about 30 years ago. And I just want to get your opinions on both in terms of quality of lyrics, quality of music. Just what do you think is better and why?
Okay.
So Huey Lewis.
Okay.
Justin Bieber.
Wow. Okay. The first problem before we can even discuss this.
And this is hang on, time out. So the reason why I picked those two is because they're both dudes who were extremely popular.
Huey Lewis was as popular as JB? For real?
In the 80s, yeah, he was.
Okay. All right. Because this is the thing. I'm emotionally connected to Huey Lewis and his music, and I'm not to Justin Bieber. So already, Huey Lewis has got one gold card.
So understanding that you're already a biased opinion, or you have a biased opinion, I want to know, which do you think is of better quality?
Better quality.
And why?
See, again, I don't think I'm a good judge on this because I haven't read the lyrics.
Okay, let me give you a better example.
I'm looking at like I Want a New Drug compared to Baby Baby.
Or Stuck With You, a song that just came out.
Okay.
So what's, if you're going to compare those two songs, Baby and I Want a New Drug, then which one would you say is a better song?
I would say I Want a New Drug because it just seems like it has more substance to it.
Okay.
Because he's talking about an angst in there. Baby Baby is, to me, cotton candy. Very well produced. And I get it. People want to dance to it. Wonderful. And I watched some, like that wedding reception video where the groom sat the bride down. That's awesome. The groomsmen there and they're all lip syncing. That's fantastic. But at the end of the day, when you're, because to me, you know me, I read lyrics. I'm all about the words. I do look at production quality,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the reason why I love people like Peter Gabriel. I mean, there's depth in there.
Do you know who Sufjan Stevens is?
No.
He's the guy who sings, I fell in love again, all things go, drove to Chicago. We're probably going to get demonetized now. But but he has a lot of folk, like indie kind of pop
Yeah,
stuff.
sounds cool.
My wife calls him the Justin Timberlake of folk.
Wow.
And she's right. And I was only asking because he's young, and he's somebody who I would say is a modern comparison to Peter Gabriel in terms of pushing the envelope with his live shows
Right.
and the style of songwriting, and how everything he writes is influenced from a different part of the world, so like international. He's a lot like Peter Gabriel used to be. And so I was hoping that you had heard of him so you can compare the two. But if you can't, that's fine. I think that Sufjan Stevens he's not a legend yet in the same way that Peter Gabriel is, but I think he's every bit as talented in writing music that is every bit as substantial as Peter Gabriel did.
I can't argue with that because I can't say that time period 30 years ago stands alone and no one will ever be as good as those people.
I'm only using the 30-year time because it's a whole generation, right? So it's
but even if you go back farther than that, like let's bring up Elvis, let's bring up the Beatles,
mm-hmm.
let's go to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, those people had influence on culture.
Michael Jackson, Justin Bieber is probably a closer comparison then.
Okay, but even then,
Or Ed
I'm
Sheeran.
sorry, Michael Jackson is going to mop up the floor on those guys.
Yeah, especially because think about the musicians that he was working with at the time. Like Quincy Jones was his producer, and then all the guys from Toto played on all of his stuff in the 80s.
So you can't, I mean, I'm sorry. Who can, and it should, tell me this though, also, are there shows nowadays? Because I'm not involved in that, and I'm very disconnected. I went to concerts that filled coliseums.
Yeah.
Where there were tens of thousands of people, and there were thousands of people that couldn't get seats who were outside.
More people went to concerts in the 80s just generally,
Why?
in fairness, because that was, well, think about it. Think about how different the world was then. If you wanted social connections with people, you actually had to go and do things, and that's not as true anymore, at least with my generation.
So you're blaming social media on
I'm not
the lack
blaming.
of
I'm just
concerts?
saying, no, I'm saying that that's part of the reason why not that many people go to concerts anymore, or at least not as many as used to.
Well, then why do they go to sporting events still?
Well, I mean, I think sporting events and concerts draw different types of people. I mean, have you seen the type of people that go to NFL games versus the people that go to see Justin Bieber, for example?
I guess you're
completely different demographics. There's still lots of people. It's just that.
So with Taylor Swift, her biggest show, how many people are going to something like
Taylor
that?
Swift has done stadium tours.
Okay.
And there were 30,000 people showing up.
There just seemed to be more of them. I mean, a lot of my friends who were just going concert after concert after concert, and they were scraping money together.
It also is because
they were scalping tickets.
And this is something interesting that's happened in the music industry too, is that touring is now the major way that artists make money, especially if they're big enough to do large tours.
Mm-hmm.
But it used to be that you could be not nearly as famous as a Taylor Swift and still make a good living touring because more people went to concerts.
Right.
And they just don't as much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know nowadays. Like,
but
who's packing them in like U2?
This is also, well, no one packs them in like U2, but maybe the Stones. But I've heard that as fun and nostalgic as it is to go see them, that they all have trouble moving. You know,
they're pretty
so.
old now, yeah.
But I don't know that for a fact. I've just heard. Getting back to the topic, which is, do you think that the changing quality of music has anything to do with that?
All right, I'm going to need you to break down the question though.
Yeah.
When you say changing quality, are you talking production
songwriting,
wise, lyrically?
Lyrics, production, and generally the type of music and the sound that it has? Because obviously pop music today sounds very different than it did in the 80s.
Lyrically, from my experiences, there seemed to be more poetry at that time.
Mm-hmm.
There seemed to be, and it's just a perception, there seemed to be more depth in the words.
I'm not the arbiter of this,
Right.
by the way. Like, I don't know if that's true or not.
Production-wise, there were some high points, but even the equipment has changed.
Mm-hmm.
think about the synth stuff that came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
And now you listen to
808s
Van
and
Halen,
whatnot.
and it's like sometimes it's annoying to your ears, but you're
I love it.
yeah, okay, but some of
But
the
I see what you
overlays and
mean, yeah.
things. I mean, when the Beatles did Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, that production-wise was very advanced at that time, and now you can do stuff with your home computer.
You can. If you have Logic on your laptop, then you can make very similar sounding music just with your laptop.
So I would say that it's hard to judge the production because I like the sound of a lot of the stuff nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's designed to be pleasant to the ear, right?
Yeah.
The people that are doing. I was watching a video.
Don't you think that producers are getting better? Isn't that the whole point?
Well, absolutely, because they're using the technology that's available. I was watching a video the other day about a guy named Oak Felder, who is a very well-known producer in pop. So he's done a lot. The video that he was doing, he was breaking down one song step by step that he did for Demi Lovato, and it was her.
That girl's got pipes.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. But he was breaking down one of her most popular songs, which was "Sorry Not Sorry," and he revealed throughout the course of the talking about the day and what he was doing specifically and what instruments he was using in software programs, he revealed that he was the one who gave her the title of the song, at least according to him, because he had gotten into an argument with his wife that morning, and when he got into the studio, she was saying, "Yeah, I want to make a song that's kind of about not being tired of apologizing," and he was like, "How about Sorry Not Sorry?" She was like, "Oh yeah, that's good." And the guy that she had brought to write it with her, they immediately started writing the lyrics, and he was talking about playing it, and he was going through the whole process of how he builds the song, and he mostly wasn't using live musicians. He was just building it from software programs and instruments that he had sitting right there in front of him. And you got to be really talented to do that.
Right.
So I'm not saying producers 30 years ago were less talented, but there are definitely more tools you can use now.
Okay, agreed. But
So-
just like with anything.
But if that's the case, then wouldn't you think that more people would go to concerts, or at least the same number, or are those two things not correlated?
I don't know if they're correlated. I also don't necessarily think that everyone today is so concerned about truly making a good song.
That's fair.
And I think a lot of the people back then, there was a lot of competition for a song being not just a hit financially, but for it to be something that was iconic.
Yeah, it would
They
be
wanted it
classic.
to be something that, like, how many songs truly are something where if you start playing just the first few notes and you're in a gathering of whatever demographic that would have heard that at some point in time, all of a sudden they're kind of staring off.
There's not that many iconic songs. And I think this is the problem, is that you can only really talk about a song being iconic after it's past the point of where it was popular,
Right.
meaning it has to last beyond there. So there's a lot of songs that get very popular. There are still artists that sell 1 million copies of singles, but as far as which songs are going to be that way for my generation, I don't know. I mean, I definitely, what's that song by the Black Eyed Peas that's like, will you turn the other cheek, Father, 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 help us. Whenever that one comes on, I'm like, yes. But just because it's nostalgic for me.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, I don't think it's that great of a song, but it was good for the time that it came out, and I vividly remember it. So I don't know. Maybe that has more to do with it than we realize, the nostalgia aspect.
Yeah. Well, we'd love to hear your opinions on this.
Yeah, you let us know if you think music was better 30 years ago, or if it's better now, or if it's roughly the same.
You know what it's time for?
What's it time for?
One cool thing.
All right, you've been talking this up for a while.
One cool
I'm excited to see it.
thing. One cool thing.
Once a week, Stefan and I have a little bit of a contest where we bring up a cool thing. It can be, I guess later on down the line, maybe we'll give categories and we'll give limitations and
We'll have suggestions from the audience.
suggestions. On
Are you ready to
something talk
lose?
about. I am not going to lose on this one,
Okay.
but you can go ahead and go first.
So how many photoreceptors do you have in your eyes?
Photoreceptors?
Meaning how many?
A bazillion.
No, you have 3. Humans have 3 types of photoreceptor cells in our eyes. And that means that we can see a certain number of colors. It affects our perception in terms of the things that our eyes are able to process and then our brains can see.
But of those 3 types, how many do we have? A bazillion.
We have lots of them. There is an animal that has between 12 and 16 types of photoreceptor cells, which means not only can this animal see colors that we can't see, this animal can see things that we can't see.
Like dead people.
No, not like. Yeah, this is called the Bruce Willis. Spoiler alert, everyone.
It was the kid. It wasn't Bruce Willis.
This is called the Jonathan
seen,
Taylor Thomas.
But I'm not going to.
What's
give
that
away.
actor's name again?
I don't.
It's not
know.
Jonathan
Wait,
Taylor
what
Thomas.
What is this psycho animal?
It's
Is it
called
an alien?
It's called the mantis shrimp, and it's this really colorful shrimp.
Wait a minute. It's a shrimp.
Yeah, it's a well. Look,
Who cares if it can see colors that we can't see? It's a shrimp. It's gonna get eaten.
it also has the most powerful punch of all crustaceans, and the way that it.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's just the most powerful
It
punch
does.
of
Okay.
all crustaceans.
You want to hear about? All right. Look.
When crustaceans
You make fun of it all you want,
are in
but
the
get
ring,
this: the
they
mantis shrimp.
fear the mantis
Shut
shrimp.
up! The mantis shrimp
Oh no!
cracks other crabs in half by punching them. It literally, its claw reaches the speed of sound and causes a sonic boom in the water when it punches. Do you not think that's cool?
It is.
It can
cool.
see colors that don't exist to us.
That's nice.
And okay, all right.
Obviously, we don't have a theme at all because he's talking about mantis shrimp and I'm talking about cars.
All right.
The Hennessy Venom F5.
Okay, what is that?
Which is still in design and production. I thought it would be out by now.
Oh, so this is a fake thing.
But it's not. It's real.
Uh-huh.
They have them that they're testing, but it's not something that you can go and buy yet.
Okay.
Although it'll be like $1.6 million, something like that.
Skeptical.
It has over 1,800 horsepower. The reason why they're tweaking it, they want it to be a production automobile that without anything added, without any changes, when it's delivered to you, will be able to go over 300 miles an hour.
Dang.
And right now, they've got it up to like 277 or something like that. And Hennessy Motors, it's over in Texas, they're like, no, we're going to wait until we can actually get this thing where we deliver it, hand you the keys, and you can, of course, hopefully be on a track or something.
I hope so.
But
yeah.
you can go 300 miles an hour.
That's really intense.
And you can run over mantis shrimp.
Oh, come on.
So in the comments,
Yeah.
you can put down who won the one cool thing.
I will be honest.
And it's going to be easy.
I was expecting more. You've been talking up this one cool thing. You were like, oh, it's going to be amazing.
300 miles an hour.
And that's very cool.
Which that's
but it's not
that's going to be the end.
It's not like
There's not going to be a production automobile. There's a couple of them that are fighting over it. Bugatti's got one that's real close and all that kind of stuff. But there's not going to be one for 400. There's not. And
no, it's just not possible.
Unless you're going to have some jet engines or something.
I'm excited to see what happens when that new Tesla Roadster comes out.
Okay.
How fast that thing
Very
can go.
cool, fast. It's not going to go 300 miles an hour.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because the one that they said will go over 250 miles an hour is the base model.
Okay.
That's what Elon said.
Then we'll do another one cool thing.
See, if you told me it was cars, I would have
I told you
mopped up the floor with you.
Right now, that's why we're not going to have categories or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Look,
Mantis
you don't
shrimp.
Shut up. You don't have to
16 different types of things.
Photoreceptors. Punches at the speed of sound. It's fine.
If it was a human being punching at the speed of sound,
that doesn't
you
exist.
would have had me.
That doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. All right. I will give this one to you.
All right. Thank you.
Because that is really cool. And
nice. You got a song for us?
I do actually.
What you got?
This is a relatively new one.
Ooh. Have I heard it yet?
I think so. I think you have. It's called In Vain.
Yes.
Have you heard this one?
Oh, yeah. This is good.
Yeah.
Although I'm the last one to ask about your songs because I just love them all.
Oh. Well, thank you. You're sweet. This is one of my country tunes. I remember every detail like it happened yesterday. The taste of your lips, roll your hips right under me. Then the fights and the drama and the way you said goodbye. I might say I'm over you, but we all know that's a lie. 'Cause I'm still calling your name in the middle of the night, wishing for a way I can make it right. Doing 120 on the county line just to drown out the pain. I still imagine it's you and it's someone else. Not willing to admit that I might need help. Can't move on or go without, 'cause my heart just won't change. I still love you, even though it's in vain. Oh, you were my soulmate, bringing out the best in me. You told me I was the one and you got me to believe. So I was blindsided when you told me no. Left holding your ring down on one knee all alone. And now I'm calling your name in the middle of the night, wishing for a way I could make it right. Doing 120 on the county line just to drown out the pain. I still imagine it's you and it's someone else. Not willing to admit that I might need help. Can't move on or go without, 'cause my heart just won't change. I still love you, even though it's in vain. Dreaming of a wedding 'cause I miss your mom and dad. Shattered all my visions with one word to make me sad. Leaving me with nothing but the memory of your face and the clothes you left in my place. Now I'm calling your name in the middle of the night, wishing for a way I could make it right. Doing 120 on the county line just to drown out the pain. I still imagine it's you and it's someone else. Not willing to admit that I might need help. Can't move on or go without, 'cause my heart just won't change. I still love you, even though it's in vain. I still love you, even though it's in vain.
Nice. A little sad, but nice.
Well, you know,
Life can be sad.
it can.
Good stuff. Thanks so much for listening to Potter Familias.
Yeah,
hope you
we
enjoyed
appreciate
this
y'all.
episode. Do all the things.
Like, share, and subscribe and stuff. Share. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and share.
We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, y'all.